Well, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are. It is Wednesday afternoon. Once again, it is 3 p.m., roughly. Once again. That means, once again, it's time for another episode of Wednesday Afternoon Live with me, SaleenDriver. A show that doesn't seem to attract the audience it once did, but ever hopeful. I come on every week when I can to try to continue being the longest running Wednesday afternoon live stream in all of YouTube that I know of. The only weekly show that tries to show every time that we log on that we are the definitive live stream about nothing in particular. Now, I'm sure we'll do that again. We always do. Now, let's see. Nate the Great, first one here, was not late. Good to see Nate. Matt Newman's here. Good to see you, sir. So I take a drink of my Coke Zero. The only Coke that I drink without any guilt, anyway. I think it tastes pretty damn good. So I'm sure we'll find things to talk about, but allow me a few minutes to ramble about a tragedy, my opinion, tragedy. I don't know who knows this or who doesn't, or if they paid attention or not, but I do enjoy auto racing in many of its forms. I'm not a big fan of Formula One. I think Formula One hasn't been about racing cars in several decades, ever since they started with the hybrid nonsense and basically turned their cars into inverted computerized wings and sitting there arguing about DRS zones and do we do a 50-50 split of hybrid to internal combustion, or do we do 60-40 or 60-40 the other way, or nonsensical bullshit like that. And it becomes more an exercise in strategy, and we know we're not going to win, so let's just manage the decline of our race to an acceptable level. And ooh, if you nudge me a little bit, we're going to penalize you 25 seconds and, blah, blah, blah. So F1, like its origins in Europe, is a useless waste of socialism, nonsensical adherence to nonsensical rules, and whining and bitching when something doesn't go your way. IndyCar is the American equivalent, in my not so humble opinion. It's become a pissing contest between Honda and Chevrolet, both running on the same chassis, dominated by European drivers who couldn't make it in F1, evidently. I'm talking to you, Romain Grosjean. It's boring. Even the Indy 500, which happened this past weekend, was an absolute yawn fest, despite the commentators shouting into their microphones trying to make it interesting. It was not. I love sports car racing, road course racing, favorite of mine, of course. But I have been a particular fan of the most unique American version of auto racing. Of course, I'm talking about NASCAR, aka stock car racing, even though we all know by now those cars are as far from stock as you can get. They used to be actual stock cars, but now they're purpose-built race cars. But at least up until recently, the cars and the drivers had balls to them. Now, I think the current generation of NASCAR drivers, the kids that are running nowadays, are kind of candy asses compared to the giants of the sport, the Yarboroughs, the Allisons, even to a lesser extent the Pettys, of course the Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, Bill Elliott, Tim Richmond, the guys that built the sport over the years. Go all the way back to Junior Johnson and Smokey Yunick, and those guys who basically cheated their way to, but it was only cheating if you got caught. And in my humble opinion, the last of those guys, the guys with personality, the guys with balls, the guys who were true wheelmen, who could take a car that wasn't running so good and force it, will it to win a race. And of course, I'm talking about Kyle Busch. Now, I know Kyle Busch is a polarizing figure on the track, off the track. Hearing the nickname Rowdy because of the way he drove, his attitude. And I love that attitude. I am an unashamed, unabashed Kyle Busch fan. Or at least I was until he died very tragically about this time last week of what we now know as sepsis brought on by a severe case of pneumonia. He didn't die on the racetrack. He died in a hospital. Doctors and nurses doing everything they could, I assume everything they could to save him. He didn't die from slamming the wall at Daytona like he did in 2015, which surely should have killed him. But tore him up pretty good, and yet he managed somehow to heal and rehabilitate good enough to get it back in a car and won his first championship due to a medical waiver, which, yes, the medical waiver had been used before 2015 and it has been used after. It was built into the championship system. So there's no asterisk next to the 2015 championship. He earned it. He earned it through a lot of pain. He earned it through a lot of hard work, and he earned it through a great team behind a great driver. He died way too young. I mean, I remember when I was 41 years old, it wasn't that long ago. And my 41st year on this earth, I was still in the recovery stage of my divorce. I was still coming to grips with being diagnosed a diabetic. I was coming to grips with trying to heal my soul from it being ripped apart. I was trying to heal physically from a disease that I didn't fully understand or grasp at that time. I was trying to raise two children who were very young at the time. Baylor Man, Good to see you, sir. 94 days until college football. Hashtag Friday Parada. Fire DEI hire Linda Livingston. Yes. And in a few days after that, Baylor will finally come to grips with what they bought, which is a worthless, failed 5-star quarterback. Good riddance to him from the Florida fan standpoint. And good luck to Baylor. Raj. Speaking of Raj, I hope you guys have seen Jesse's new channel dedicated to model cars. Should go check that out. Anyway, my fandom of Kyle Busch dates back to his very early days in NASCAR when he was running for Hendrick Motorsports. He was driving the number 5 Chevrolet. And I had paid scant attention to him. I had, my driver previous to that was Bill Elliott, and he was retired pretty much. And I only watched NASCAR basically as a disinterested fan. But came time, I believe the racetrack was Martinsville. And Martinsville in, I believe it was 2007, saw the debut of what they called the car of tomorrow. The winged 5th generation car, which was touted as the savior of the sport. It was going to be faster, it was going to handle better, it was going to be safer, it was going to be better for the fans, better for the drivers. And the debut race for that car was Martinsville in 2007, I believe it was. And Kyle Busch, who was a very young driver at the time, I believe he was only 20, won the first race of the car of tomorrow. And it was not his first NASCAR victory, but it was his first victory for the car of tomorrow, and he happened to be driving it. He pulls the car into victory lane and gets out of the car, and they do the standard victory lane interview. Some nameless, faceless reporter stuck a microphone under his nose and said, "So what did you think of the new car tomorrow?" I'm paraphrasing here. And and Kyle Busch looked right in the camera and said, "I think it sucks." That's it. That's my guy. Anyone who is willing to take on the establishment of NASCAR, who have been screaming about how good the car of tomorrow was going to be and what a boon to the sport it was going to be, and one of the rising star drivers driving for one of the headline teams in NASCAR, Hendrick Motorsports, the same team that had Jimmy Johnson, the same team that had Jeff Gordon. Kyle Busch looks dead in the camera and said, "Your new car sucks." That is my guy. Right then and there, I became a fan. He didn't last very much longer after that at Hendrick, because there was another guy that everyone was in love with. I believe his name was Dale Earnhardt Jr., Junebug. He was signed with Hendrick. Kyle Busch was let go. Kyle Busch signed with Joe Gibbs Racing and started driving Toyotas, and the rest is history. He became the winningest driver in all of NASCAR history with 234 victories across all 3 national series, the trucks, what was then called Busch Series or Nationwide or Xfinity. I forgot what it's called now. And Cup cars, the big cars. He long since passed Richard, the alleged King Petty, with his 200 wins, most of which came in the old Grand National Series, racing on Wednesday evenings on 1/3 mile dirt tracks against Bubba. And everyone says that Kyle Busch's achievement of 200 victories wasn't the same as Richard Petty's. He said, you're right, it wasn't. Richard Petty racked up all his races against Bubba and a bunch of goofs in more or less unsanctioned races that barely qualified as NASCAR racing, whereas Kyle Busch racked up his 234 victories in NASCAR sanctioned, NASCAR ruled, NASCAR regulated series on real racetracks against real racers. Now, some of those racers may be rookies, as in the truck series, but you know what? Kyle Busch owned a race team called Kyle Busch Motorsports. And he developed a lot of those kids that are now running around in the big leagues of NASCAR. Looking at you, Bubba Wallace, you bastard. Ran your old boss off the track, you piece of shit, and whined about it later. One of Kyle Busch's failed attempts at developing a race driver. Ironically, Kyle Busch's last victory was in trucks. He was running Spire Motorsport number 7 Chevrolet. Spire was the company that bought Kyle Busch Motorsports a few years ago and actually used the old KBM building as its headquarters. Kyle Busch sold KBM at the height of its success because he wanted to concentrate on helping develop his son Brexton and his racing career, but still occasionally drove for Spire Motorsports and won for them. I'll get to that in a minute, Matt. Shorter answer is I could give a shit, but I'll get into that. Kyle Busch drove with sort of a smile on his face for, 3 years for Richard Childress Racing, which was a secondary team at best, because Joe Gibbs stabbed him in the back and hired his grandson to drive for him and kick Kyle Busch out. His grandson is floundering in the number 54 car, which was the old 18 car. And Kyle Busch will go first ballot Hall of Fame. Ty Gibbs will be a footnote at best in racing history, if he's even that good. Afternoon, Vic. Good to see you, sir. Anyway, I know nobody here really is much on motorsports. That's cool. I know, this is a college football crowd. I get that. I know motorsports for most of you guys is a trash talking footnote about Alabama fans going back to NASCAR because their football team sucks. Blah blah blah. I get that. That's fine. But I enjoy motorsports. I enjoyed participating in it when I was younger until an accident took me out. I enjoy watching it, and not for the crashes, because I enjoy it. I find it to be entertaining. I don't enjoy it as much as I used to because most of the drivers nowadays are homogenized and pasteurized and blitzed and glamored and beaten down by corporate requirements. And there just aren't any good, sons of bitches out there, willing to say into the camera to NASCAR, your new car sucks. Fix it. The new rules package kills competition. Fix it. Keep the computers out of the cars. We don't need them. We're drivers. That's what we do. We drive these cars. We're not Formula One. We're not Indy. We're not button pushing. We're not doing fuel strategy nonsense with our engine settings. You want to save fuel? You do it with your right foot. You don't do it with a computer switch. NASCAR was, in my opinion, on the brink of losing itself. And now they've lost arguably one of the best drivers they ever had. Sure, you can argue about so-called King Richard. You can argue back with Dale Earnhardt. Fair. You can argue back with Jeff Gordon or what's the other guy? God, I just said his name a minute ago. Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, you can argue. You can even go back and you can argue about Yarborough and Richard Petty, the king, alleged king. You can talk about all those guys and you make fair points. But I can argue back that Kyle Petty's useless. Kyle Busch deserves to be in that pantheon of great names. Yes, he only had 2 NASCAR titles. He also had one in Nationwide. He also had more victories in Nationwide or Xfinity or Busch Series or whatever you call it, and more victories in trucks than anyone else in history. And his 234 victories across all 3 of the Major League Series, nobody's going to beat that. Nobody. The nearest guy that could come close to that hasn't even crossed 100 yet. All the other guys that might have had a chance and they didn't, but they might have retired or they're dead. Kyle Busch will go down as the greatest or one of the greatest wheelmen in the history of motorsports. And I think all of motorsports is poorer now for the death of Kyle Busch. I cannot believe that he's gone. And it's a damn shame. And I'm glad to have said all that. And if I, bored you with that, I ain't sorry. My channel, I can do what I want. But now that I've gotten all that out and I've said my piece about the greatest race car driver that I've ever witnessed, I'm going to drop the link, see if Vic or Nate or anybody else wants to come up. And we'll talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Now, a minute ago, Matt asked me about the UFC event at the White House. For one thing, I didn't know that was a real thing. I thought that was just kind of a rumor or kind of somebody floating a trial balloon or something like that. If it's actually going to happen, what's the big deal? Set up an octagon on the West Lawn or whatever, and make sure you screen all the people real careful, and have at it. I mean, I know that Dana White and Trump have a relationship. And I think Rogan would be there, right? And I know Reagan and Trump got along pretty good on the podcast. Afternoon, Harry. How you doing, man? So I have no problem with it. I mean, yeah, granted, I guess you could say it's not very presidential or whatever to have a UFC event at the White House. Good to see you, Mr. Sharpton. I mean, you can make that argument that the UFC at the White House is not exactly, you know, a very elegant thing, but whatever. I don't really have an issue with it. I'm not a particularly big UFC fan, or MMA fan or whatever. Any of the fighting sports in general. I'm not really a big uh, fan of that. Paying money to see two men or two women beat the crap out of each other. This doesn't entertain me. But that's just me. Not much ado about nothing. One of my favorite radio talk show hosts that is still out there. You may or may not have heard of him. His name is Mark Levin, who, by the way, is a brilliant man. If you've ever read one of his books or listened to him on his radio or his podcast or his show on Fox or his channel on YouTube, the man is brilliant. He used to work in the Reagan White House in the Justice Department. I think he was hooked in with the Attorney General at the time. He is a brilliant constitutional scholar, very learned man. I listened to him. When I walk every day, 3.5 miles a day in the morning. I usually put his podcast on and listen to it while I'm walking. The man is very, very, very smart. And he is a major MMA fan. Loves UFC. Says he watches those all the time. So go figure, a man of that level of brilliance. And he likes to watch people stand in front of each other and beat each other to senseless. Gonna go watch the college baseball? No. And I know the Gators are in the regional tournament. I know that one of the regional tournament is being held in Gainesville right now. But baseball, baseball got nothing for me. It's baseball, whether it's pro ball or college ball or whatever. It's boring to me. It bores me. So, I hope the Gators do well. From what I understand, their team is a little above average, but probably not built to go all the way to Omaha. If they do, hey, I hope they win. Absolutely. And I hope they go further than Florida State, who I found out last night was also hosting a regional tournament up in Tallahassee. I didn't even know that they were doing that. I found that out from my cousin. But no, the baseball, not for me. I have been watching the Stanley Cup playoffs in hockey, and I've also been following the Kelly Cup playoffs in the East Coast Hockey League, the ECHL. My team in the ECHL is the Florida Everblades. They're playing out of Fort Myers, actually, more correctly, Estero, but for all intent and purposes, Fort Myers. They've only lost one game so far in the playoffs. They're in the conference finals right now against Wheeling, the Wheeling Nailers out of West Virginia, I believe. And I believe they're up 2-0 in that series, which is the conference final. Game 3 is tonight in Wheeling. If they can win that series, they go on to the finals, where they're most likely going to be facing Kansas City, who had the best record in the ECHL this year, and only up until recently were undefeated in the playoffs, but they actually lost their first game of the playoffs over the weekend. So they're going, I think they're playing Fort Wayne in their best of 7 series, and they're tied at 1 game apiece going back to Fort Wayne. So I've been following that with great interest. But my interest in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the NHL, is not so much following a particular team for victory, because my team, Boston, got knocked out in the first round. They never really had a chance. And my other team, Tampa, they got knocked out too. I'm mostly worried about, or I'm mostly hoping for the Montreal Canadiens to be knocked out of the playoffs. And right now they're down 2-1 to Carolina Hurricanes. The Carolina Hurricanes, who used to be the Hartford Whalers. So there is a little bit of a connection there. But, and of course, Las Vegas has already won their playoff series and already in the Stanley Cup final. They knocked out Colorado 4-0. Colorado didn't even put up a fight. So as long as Montreal doesn't get the Stanley Cup, I'm good. Because I hate the Montreal Canadiens almost as much as I hate the Florida State Criminals. Almost. What do I think of the Ebola outbreak and the Congos attacking the treatment center? News to me. I didn't know about any of that. Well, the Congolese, or whatever they're called now, attacking treatment centers, that doesn't surprise me a bit. I didn't know that we were going through yet another Ebola outbreak. What do I think of it? Probably not something that's going to affect the United States. So, hope it doesn't. Hope they can get on top of this one and contain it so it doesn't become a problem outside of the Congo or wherever it is right now. But right now, if it's not attacking the United States, then sorry, not sorry if it sounds callous, but I don't care. I don't. I'll worry about it when it becomes something I need to worry about. But right now, I don't need to worry about it. What do you think, Vic? You brought it up. Well, what do you think? I don't know. Raj. Let's see what else. I watched Uncle Lou's video about G5 Johnny. And again, I want to reiterate on the record, I came up with G5 Johnny, not Lou. every time he says G5 Johnny, he needs to send me a nickel or something because he got that from me. I'm the one that started using G5 Johnny first. It's mine. It's all mine. Of course, whatever. But he was actually, I thought, very well, not complimentary, maybe that's not the right word, but he was very charitable towards G5 Johnny. I think I would argue that Lou might have more confidence in G5 Johnny than I do. And I'm a Gator fan, and Lou is not. I don't know why Lou has confidence or some level of confidence. I don't know if it's misplaced or he's just, playing the long game trash talking, or the trash talking long game, I should say. But I don't have any real belief in G5 Johnny. Is he saying all the right things? Yeah, I guess you could say that. He's saying all the right things. He's making all the right noises. He's talking the talk. I don't know that his team can walk the walk. If you watched the video that Vic did with me, where he interviewed me regarding our season prediction and preview, I think Vic said that he expected Florida to go 6-6. I said, 7-5. I was being kind. I thought there was one more win in that schedule than Vic did. I think that's the way it worked out. Or did I say 6-6 and Vic said 7-5? No. Vic said 6-6. I said 7-5. I have a theory about that, Bench Bar. I have a theory about that. I'll get to that in a minute. Let me finish my thought here. I don't know about I don't know. I would argue, or I would agree rather, that Lou is probably smarter about college football than I am. I don't think there's much debate about that with me or with anybody else. Lou is immersed up to his eyeballs in college football and the ancillary stuff about it. 24/7, 365. I don't do that. I never have. I probably never will. But then again, Lou makes his living doing this. I just kibitz in this. So it really surprised me that Lou did that video and was actually treated G5 Johnny better than I do. And he thinks that Florida might be, might have bottomed out of its, doldrums, and might be, beginning the ascension back to where, Gator Nation would want it to be. I don't know if that ascension takes 1 year, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. I don't know. But I was stunned at Lou's video about that. He was certainly more charitable about the whole thing than I would have been, or I continue to be. Now, Bench Bar here, who I've never seen this name before, so brings up a good question. I used to have more people in your chat. Where'd everybody go? Well, I have a couple of theories on that. I was actually thinking about that earlier today, wondering if I was going to get more than like 5 people in here, like last week, or what. Quite honestly, I blame myself. Um, we will soon see all about G5. Johnny inherited 2 decent head coaching job for the Tulane. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, a bench bar. I blame myself for my audience drop. Um, it all started maybe a little more, maybe about 2 years ago, where Lou and I got into a bit of a verbal argument on one of the other channels. I think it might have been Tiger Cat's channel, or it might have been Battle Angels channel, or it might have been it might have been um, BVD's channel. I don't remember, but I was not having a particularly good time in things outside of YouTube. It was on BA's channel. Okay, it was on BA's channel. I was not having a particularly good time in my life outside of YouTube. He started in with a few things that I thought crossed the line, personally, and I just went off on him. Shouldn't have, because I know Lou. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know Lou as much as anybody else, and I call him friend. I still do. Still a Patreon supporter. Still at the Hall of Fame level to this day. Still ask him occasional advice style questions, and I talk to him now and again. But I know who he is, at least online. He is, and I learned a long time ago, don't argue with him. I post something on Facebook, he comes back at me with some kind of comment, and I just let it go. There she is, the Battle Angel. Always good to see you, my lady. Because arguing with Lou is pointless. It gets you nowhere, quite honestly. And he's a very good debater. He's very intelligent. He's a very good debater. He's very imaginative. But he got under my skin on that particular day, and basically I just screamed at him for about 5 minutes, called him a few choice names, and then rage quit off the channel, which I shouldn't have done any of that. I take full responsibility. And I apologized to him personally a day or so later. And I apologized publicly on my next opportunity on my channel. And I'm pretty sure that Lou forgave me for, yelling at him like that, although his skin is as thick as concrete. It probably didn't bother him at all, but it bothered me. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's what I said. Yeah. Anyway, I think when I did that and I went off on Lou, who, in our little corner of the YouTube universe, he's an important luminary type figure, and he might have said, "Okay, bygones be bygones, and we're cool and all that." He said that as much to me. But I think I rubbed a lot of people the wrong way when I did that. And I have been told as such that, you know, my attitude towards him that day and towards a few other YouTubers that were consistently, you know, I don't like you, I don't want anything to do with you, you know, kindly fuck off, etc., have rubbed people the wrong way. And my personality probably rubs people the wrong way on occasion. And I drove people off my channel. And I'll take responsibility for that. And I do not ask for forgiveness. You know, I am the victim of my own decisions. Also, I think losing Keith, DVD, who was a big supporter of mine and a very good friend, and somebody who stood up for me when he thought it was right to do so. Lost Keith. I lost somebody who was a big supporter of mine. And that didn't help. And also, I think as my life has changed over the past few years, you know, my participation in this group has dwindled a bit. I'm not on the morning show as much as I used to. I'm not able to tune into the morning show. I'm not able to get on the call-in shows or other YouTubers shows, either because of timing or whatever. I've also missed literally every Slob Olympics except for the first one. That hasn't set well with a few people. Particularly since I said I was going to go to one of them and then had to back out, and then was very vocal about the cruise ship Slob Olympics. You know, why I didn't go and so on. I don't want to rehash all that. But my participation in the community has dropped, and therefore my audience on this live stream has dropped as a result. It's all like, you know, if A, then B. And I accept that. You know, I accept that I'm not as popular as I once was, and I wasn't particularly that popular. But that's a long-winded answer, Beach Bar, to this question. Where'd everyone go? Well, either they lost interest in me or I drove them away is probably the short answer. You know, if I angered anyone, of course, I am sorry. But that's what I think happened. Yeah, Vic had to for a while my dad was sick, and I couldn't live stream for the better part of 6 or 7 months or so. Vic had to take over, and I'm sure that Vic's audience is bigger than mine. Well, we weren't talking about just that incident. I was saying that one incident is probably a big part of why the audience on this live stream is probably lower than it used to be. Yeah, and I appreciate that, Beach Bar. I believe that I am entitled to have an opinion. Everyone is entitled to have their opinion, and you know, no one's forced to support my channel. I've got a loyal little band of followers here who are here for whatever reason. Battle Angel's here, Big Tube's here, Nate's here, or he was here, Harry Legg, Matt Dumit. There are others, you know, that pop in now and again. And I appreciate the support, and I tell them that as much as I can. But yeah, I mean, and that's just my theory as to what happened to my audience. I don't know. Um, some of those guys and gals may have just, like Christy and Melissa May and Traction Jackson and Friction Vixen, folks like that. And Jesse, good old Raj, those guys, I think, disappeared from the internet altogether, as far as I know. Anyway, Chess Hall is another one. Used to be in here on and off all the time. I think those guys and gals have just, left YouTube. It just wasn't their thing anymore. And that's cool. Yeah, Baylor Man. Don't forget Baylor Man. When Baylor approves of my opinions regarding our athletic program, they start winning again. Hashtag I know stuff. Hashtag listen to Baylor Man. Hashtag stop mistreating Baylor Man. Yeah. And I realize that Wednesday afternoon at 3:00 is probably not the ideal time to stream. It works out for me. Friction is still around. She's on Sundays with Traveling Fools. Oh, and Traveling Fools pops in here occasionally. And Traveling Fools and I had a falling out, for reasons that I forgot. Vic probably remembers why Traveling Fools and I got into a beef, but we fixed that. Mostly, I just basically apologized to each other, and that's that. I don't show up on your channel anymore. Yes, stop mistreating Baylor Man. Mike Vack. I haven't seen that name in a while. For me, I've been working. I used to stop by a week. I still have to get caught up on watch video. Yep. Please feel free. Feel free. I was just about to say something. Yeah, and you know what? And I almost forgot. I mean, there are a couple people. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. And also, I mean, there were a couple of people that are pissed off at me about the whole thing with Unk, because for some fucked up reason they like Unk. And they're mad at me because I don't like Unk. I said, well, I'm sorry. Generally, Jewish people don't like anti-Semites, but just saying, And there have been more than a few people that were really angry at me about the whole Jay Shipes or Shippies or what, I forgot how to pronounce that. Really angry at me about that. And to that, and Sir Uga, they thought I overreacted. Well, you're smart, Vic. I mean, most smart people don't like Unk. There are a lot of people thought I treated Jay Shipes and Sir Uga unfairly. Okay. Again, entitled to your opinion. I always found that to be funny. People, jump ugly on me about me expressing my opinion and then have their own opinions and expect me to swallow their opinions like tripe, Raj. And while simultaneously saying I am not allowed to have my opinion on people or things, which I find to be hypocrisy of the first order. But the Shipes thing, That cost me a lot in terms of people on here. I don't know where he is or what he's doing. I wish him well, but I got tired of him, and he wouldn't stop. I begged him to stop. I pleaded with him, stop it, stop it, get new material, stop it. And, after a while, it gets tiresome, and you just have to remove that. I gave him every opportunity in my humble opinion, the way I see it. If I give someone every opportunity to change and they refuse, okay, that's a you problem, not a me problem. The Senate has drafted a bill to address college football antitrust exemptions. Oh, good. Great. Now we're going to get federal intervention in college football. Just what the sport needs. As if it hadn't been already fucked up by NIL and the transfer portal and conference disintegration and realignment and all the other stupidity that's ruined the sport. Now we're going to bring in the feds. What did Ronald Reagan used to say? The most feared the most feared sentence in all the world. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Great. Just what the college sports needs. The imperial federal government coming in where it's not needed. Because nothing is going to destroy college football faster than another unnecessary, unwanted, unworkable federal bureaucracy. Yeah, because it worked out so well for healthcare and education and energy policy, and this is not going to work out well. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the government will sweep in and fix everything, and everything will return to normal, and everything will be hunky-dory, and we'll all sit around a campfire and sing Kumbaya. Or maybe they'll destroy college football forever. And I'm probably thinking the latter. Well, speaking of Uncle Lou, did we win the war yet? No, not yet. Well, it depends on what your definition of victory is, I guess. But in my definition of victory, no, we haven't won the war yet. But yeah, well, we'll see. Oh well. Meanwhile, you and I'll continue to drive our gas guzzlers. Oh, wait a minute. Were you selling the Mustang? Or am I thinking of somebody else I know? No, I don't think it was you. I don't think you were selling your Mustang. It was somebody else. I like Lou's Mustang. It's a hell of a lot more comfortable than mine, that's for sure. No, okay. I have been every once in a while contemplating selling my Mustang, because it's not as comfortable to drive as it used to be. I mean, my body has changed over 26 years of ownership. Sometimes that car is really hard to drive. I ain't gonna lie, but I still love the damn thing, and I'm not looking to sell it yet. Only had to get gas once. Well, you work from home, so that helps. I haven't driven them. To be honest, though, I haven't driven my Saleen in about 3 weeks because of the love bugs, and I gotta say, this love bug season has been one of the heaviest I've ever seen, and it's lasted a hell of a lot longer than I thought it would. Kind of hoping that now that Florida is getting into the afternoon thunder shower routine, hopefully the love bugs will go away now. Imagine that you talked about your past dealings with Lou and he shows up. It's almost this, bench bar, that may be, but I don't fear Lou. I mean, I have never feared Lou. I've always respected Lou. I like Lou. He's a good guy. He's invited me into his home. We've broke bread together. I've had him at my house once with Battle Angel. Lou is a good guy. Lou is Lou is someone I respect. But every once in a while, he got under my skin, and and I popped off on him once or twice, and you know. I'm the same way, Lou. I put full synthetic in the Saleen, and I change it once a year, right around right around somewhere in December. I change the oil because I don't put that much mileage on it, and it's full synthetic, so it can take it. And probably I could probably stretch it to even longer, but once a year. Since I swear to you, if I drive the Saleen 2,000 miles a year now, that's amazing. Yeah, about once a year. Had to buy gas. Premium here is right at about $5 a gallon. Regular is about 4.35 a gallon. Yeah, I actually put full synthetic in the in my daily driver, the Sonata, because the car has about 85,000 miles on it, and gasoline direct injection engines tend to carbon up, so putting synthetic oil in there helps keep the carbon buildup down a little bit. But I change that oil every 3,000 to 4,000 miles. Probably could get more out of it, but I don't like to push oil. I'd like to keep the oil fresh in both cars, especially since both cars have pretty high. Well, the Hyundai has high compression. The Saleen uses a supercharger, so it stresses the oil out. Anyway, so yeah, and Beach Bar, as far as somebody, ratting me out to Lou, I doubt it. It's possible, But Lou has popped into this channel before. He's done it. Hey, for all I know, he might have planted a bug in my house. Found out I was talking about a certain subject and said, "Oh, I got to go in there and see what's going on." Oh, don't matter. All are welcome, except for Unk. He's not welcome. Everyone else is welcome. And Lou, the other thing you got to keep up on with these cars is tires. I always make sure that the tires on any of my cars are no more than 5 years old. Even if they have good tread depth, at 5 years old, they come off the car. Victor, how are you, sir?
Good.
Where were you last week?
Where was I last week? What do you
You
mean?
were here last week.
I was here, but you ended the show because you were having a headache.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a bad headache too, and it came on like like a dam burst. All of a sudden, it's like, where the hell did that come from? Have you other than your recent interview with
Sven?
Sven? Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
I haven't seen him. How's he doing? Did you get?
Yeah, he's doing. Yeah. He's doing. Yeah. He's doing all right. I think he was.
Been about a month since he's been on here.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah.
But I enjoyed the interview.
Yeah.
Doesn't look good for Mississippi State this year.
Nope, not at all. No.
And I see that Lou just put up a video about Kirby Smart saying that the SEC should break away from college from the NCAA. I'm gonna watch the video, of course, but you know what? I don't see why that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he said that we need to break away. I think he said that he would be open to the idea of breaking away.
Well, here's the thing: here's on my screen it says Uncle Lou uploaded Kirby Smart : SEC should quote break away unquote from the rest of college football.
Well,
that intrigues me.
Yeah. Like I said,
that's an intriguing tagline. I'm definitely going to watch that with some interest.
Yeah, y'all have to check that one out. Yeah.
It's fine if everybody does it, but he's talking like the SEC just be their own league, not playing anyone else, having their own postseason. Oh, well, wait a spoiler alert, guy.
Yeah.
You just gave away the premise of the video.
Yep.
I'll watch it anyway because that's what I'm supposed to do. But yeah, I don't know that the SEC can sustain itself without the rest of college football.
Yeah, I don't want the SEC to break away.
And I just got an alert that Pigskin Pete has released a video too.
Yeah, I don't want the SEC to break away.
No, that doesn't sound like it.
Yeah,
Pigskin Pete uploaded Kirby Smart or Kirby Dumb. Why is he talking crazy?
Yep.
Okay, I'll have to watch that one too.
Yeah. Anyway, I've heard there's been talk about the Power Four maybe splitting off from the NCAA. Yeah, I have
I
heard
thought the
that
Power
idea
Four.
get floated around. They will break away from the NCAA when it comes to football.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought the Power Four was the NCAA.
No,
Shouldn't the group of five be talking about breaking away from the NCAA and starting their own thing? I
mm,
mean, they're after all the weak sisters of the whole thing.
right?
And honestly, if I'm honest, to me that wouldn't be a bad idea if the group of five, kind of start out their own thing. But what do I know? Hmm, there we go. But I think I don't know. Don't we have enough chaos in college football right now? Do we have to add more to it? Look at that. The courier just dropped some packages off at my front door, and they actually followed my instructions, put them inside the porch. Amazing. Finally, evidently found one that could read the English language. Oh, Nate's here.
Yes. Anyway, so that we talked about the Ebola outbreak. So basically, there's been like an outbreak of Ebola in the DRC. So and then there's like all these international doctors and health workers there setting up these treatment facilities, but a lot of the Congolese are not happy with the presence of all these foreign doctors.
Do they say why they're not happy with it, or they just don't
No,
like? They
no,
just
they
don't.
didn't. They didn't say why. It was sort of that they had like that some people had like set one of their tents on fire at the treatment centers. So
Like, well,
I mean they're just there, just trying to help, but
some people in this world don't like people that aren't like them. I guess.
I guess.
I mean, I don't know. Whatever. But right now, the somebody posted up earlier that the whole thing was kind of contained. Who posted that earlier?
Yeah, that was Harry that said that, but
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Outbreak is confined to 3 provinces. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad it's contained for the time being. Yeah, but the Congolese don't like foreigners. Well, they've never liked foreigners to begin with, so that
and they're
shouldn't
scared
surprise
of
anybody.
they're scared of the 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 uh, uh the doctors. Yeah.
Well, the Congo used to be a colony. I think it was a French colony. So they probably see all doctors as like Europeans or whatever,
Hmm. Hmm.
and they probably have a healthy distrust of Europeans because they're afraid that they're going to get recolonized.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Yeah. Yeah. I also read that they were like that they wanted to like get the the bodies back of their family members who had died, but then they said, no, you can't have the the body back because it's still infected. But
Hmm. Yeah, well, you can't really explain that very well to someone with a kindergarten level education. Just saying. Well, Nate says he's moved into his apartment. Congratulations, sir.
yeah, y- yeah, good job, Nate.
That is wonderful news. I hope it works out well for him. Raj. Uh, although I gotta wonder what is Nate's diet going to look like when he's cooking for himself all the time.
Lots of taquitos.
Yeah, and I like taquitos, I do, but not every day. It's not much right now, but I'm getting well. I mean, it takes time.
That's right.
Nate, did you take your jock strap to Jesus Christ? Thank you for that, Lou.
Yeah,
There's an image that I didn't need.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I did talk to Nate on on Sunday. Yeah, he said that he was wanting to just go ahead and move in, but he doesn't have any furniture yet. So he said he's just gonna sleep on the floor
Oh,
until he gets his stuff moved in. So
uh, I cannot sleep on the floor. That's not an option for me anymore. Maybe when I was his age, I could do that. But
what sleep? Yeah, sleep on the floor in a sleeping bag. Yeah.
well, bad back and all that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that yeah.
Well, if he doesn't have a bed, Lou, I mean, he's got to sleep somewhere. I don't know. Why didn't he move his bed? I don't know. I'll be right back. But
Yeah. Oh, okay. He says he got bed, but no bed frame. Oh,
I'll crack those open later, but just want to get him inside so I don't get hit with a porch
yeah,
pirate.
yeah. Nate said he has a bed, but no bed frame. Okay, so you got a mattress,
Well, you can put the mattress on the floor. That's not so
a
bad.
mat a mattress, but no bed frame. Okay, so the mattress will be on the floor. So I guess technically that is sleeping on the floor, but yeah, yeah. Read what Lou wrote.
I would pay 5K to wire Nate's apartment up with cameras. I
Do a 24/7 live feed.
I don't think the world needs that. The
Yeah,
world
maybe,
does
yeah,
not
maybe.
need the world does not need Nate Cam.
Yeah, we don't need to be watching him 24/7. Yeah,
Yeah, that would be weird.
yeah, yeah. It would be. Yeah.
But Nate living on his own. That's he's what, 24, 25.
Yeah.
I know people that are his age that are still not living on their own. So good on Nate. I mean that. Good for you, sir. I hope it, I sincerely hope it works well for him. Well, it's new with you, Vic.
What's new with me?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, not really. Yeah, not really anything.
So I was debating with myself because Lou put up that video saying that, you should we should put in requests for preview and prediction videos.
Yeah.
I know somebody's probably already put in for the Gators. Should I bother putting in for one for Harvard, or should I just not waste this time?
No, I think you can put in Harvard, but
You think he'd do it?
I mean, he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't have to do it, but he's done. He's done the. He did the University of West Florida one time, so he probably would. Yeah.
The University of West Florida?
Yeah. The Argonauts. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Argonaut. Yeah. One time Lou did one for the Argonauts of West Florida. Yeah.
Okay. I will not put in Harvard. I won't do that. Ew. That's an image I didn't need either. Stop it. Okay. So no Harvard, Power Four, or good G6. G6?
Yeah,
Is
he's
it
group of six because
is
the Pac-12 is now the group of six.
so now I gotta go with G6 Johnny instead of
G6,
G5?
yeah, G6 Johnny, because the Pac-12 rebuilt. Yeah, Oregon State and Washington State got a bunch of new teams to join them. So
Okay, well, Lou, if nobody has asked for Florida, please do Florida. You were going to do it anyway, but
yeah, most of the
and you know what? If I could, what the hell, SMU. I want to. What do you think of the Mustangs? No, I don't care
the
about
Pac,
this.
yeah, the Pac. So the Pac-12 is now the Pac-8.
The Pac-8.
The Pac-8.
Florida could win 8 games.
Well, they're the Pac-9 when you include Gonzaga, but they don't have a football team. So
Gonzaga.
yeah,
Oh my God.
but they don't have a
Gonzaga.
football team. So
Gonzaga's a. What do Florida and Gonzaga have in common? Do you know?
um.
They're
Yeah,
both basketball
they
schools.
both, they're both basketball schools. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
They're
yeah.
both basketball schools now. It's a Florida. If Florida wins 8 games, it's going to be considered a miracle.
That's right. Yeah, I did a preview and prediction video on for Virginia Tech yesterday. So
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, yeah. Of course, they just hired James Franklin. So
Hmm.
yes, that's kind of why they're a team that is being talked about, because they got James Franklin. So.
Did you see that Did you see that Sunbelt Billy was talking trash about
Huh?
Florida?
Hmm.
He's
Well,
talking trash about his Florida
he's
experience.
talking trash about his uh, uh, about his ex, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Sometimes
dude,
when people break up and then they'll talk shit about their ex after the breakup.
I'm thinking to myself, dude, keep my alma mater out your mouth. You tried, you failed. Okay, go away. Go fucking coach. What is it, Jacksonville or whatever? A little peon team that's going to go nowhere.
Yeah. So that's basically what's going on with the Sunbelt Billy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay, you got fired.
Hmm.
You got fired with a golden parachute. No, no, not a golden parachute, a platinum parachute. You're going to have so much money that you don't. It doesn't matter how good, bad, or indifferent you are for the rest of your college coaching career. You're going to have more money than God. You know, shut the fuck up. I don't know. I don't know what Summerall is going to do. I have my gut still tells me that this guy is not the answer. But who knows? I guess that it's like the old saying. That's why we play the game. Who knows? He might go out there and maybe not. Obviously, not this year, but maybe next year, 27, 28. Maybe he makes some noise. Maybe he becomes the next Gator coaching legend. Who the fuck knows? I doubt it, but every coaching legend had to start somewhere, right? I mean, Saban didn't just roll out of bed one day and said, "This year I will be great." Bear Bryant, uh, uh, what was that idiot from Florida State? Was it Bowden, Smart, Urban Meyer, Steve Spurrier? They didn't roll out of bed one day and said, "This is my year. This is the year I achieve greatness."
Uh-huh.
They had to start somewhere. I mean, fucking Spurrier started off with Duke, for God's sake. Bowden was West by God, Virginia.
Yep.
I don't know where Kirby Smart came from. I knew it, but I forgot. Um, Bear Bryant wasn't a legend at Alabama. He started somewhere too. But, who knows? Maybe G6 Johnny is. Maybe he built something at Tulane and wherever he was
Right. Well,
before
I mean, right.
Tulane.
Kirby started out as an assistant at Valdosta State. So
Okay, well,
yeah, he started out being like a uh, a, a DB's coach at Valdosta State. So
what is Valdosta State? A Division II school?
yes, Division II down in South Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah, I know where Valdosta is. Yeah. I've driven through there many times. Not lately, but many times.
Right. Of course, before he came to Georgia, he was Saban's DC at Alabama.
Hmm. Now, like Lou said, I'll give G6 Johnny one bit of credit. Even before the first snap of the season, at least he hired an offensive coordinator. One big difference between Johnny and Billy. I don't know. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be. mean, do you go with the kid who is familiar with a completely different system, or do you go with a backup quarterback from Georgia fucking Tech? Not much of a choice. Millis. Good to see you, sir. Nate, why did you not vote for me in the calendar contest? Oh boy. Birth of the air raid, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, even Nate. Yeah, even worse. Nate was recently caught drinking a cup of Scooter's coffee. So
What are we talking about here?
yeah, at least he's talking about the calendar contest.
What
For
calendar?
the calendar contest for Mack trucks.
Oh, did I miss a memo? I guess I did. Wait, Millis or Lawn Care Life is Lawn Tractor Life. It was up for a calendar.
Yeah, it was a Mack. It was like a Mack trucks. You get calendar contest. Yeah,
Oh, no kidding.
because you know how Millis has his dump trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyway, yeah. So I did vote for Millis as many times as I could, but sadly he did not win. So apparently Scooter's Coffee owns some dump trucks, I guess. I don't know. So
Hmm.
so yeah, you guess so he ended up losing out to big business. So you still there, Celine?
Oh, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
I didn't know that Millis was up for a calendar. So my bad.
Okay. It was for all Mack trucks, not just dump trucks.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, and now Nate and Millis have beef.
Yes.
Oh boy. I was second to Scooter's Coffee in the contest because Nate voted for them.
Hmm.
Nate has
Is
suspiciously
that is
gone
that
silent.
true? Is that true, Nate?
Millis has entered the building. Hang on a minute.
Hello. Hi, guys.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
I'm not mad at Nate. I'm just very, very sad that he voted for them instead of me.
Right, yeah, you're not mad, you're just disappointed.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I thought Nate was my friend, and
I thought he was your friend too. Yeah.
so he voted for him like 17 votes, and I lost by like 15 votes.
Wow, Nate.
So, yeah, 17 votes would have won me by 2 votes, but it's okay. Maybe next year. I hope Nate enjoys his Scooter's coffee.
Well, Nate, you got some splaining to do. What's up? What? Well, Nate's all of a sudden gone 100% quiet. Something's going on here.
Yeah, that's that's the methods of a guilty person. I'm not
Yes.
mad at Nate. I still love you, Nate. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
mad.
Nate, what did Millis do to you that you wouldn't vote for him? I mean, what's going on here?
I guess I didn't give him coffee. I don't know. I thought
Well,
we
you
were
don't have.
pals. We were
You gotta
pretty.
make some Millis coffee. Yeah.
We hung out a good bit at the Slav Olympics, and
Yeah,
spent
we
some
need some
time
Did,
together.
did
coffee.
you
And
buy?
I thought we
Did you
were.
buy him a
Yeah,
Starbucks or something?
we need to get some 12 Oaks coffee. Yeah.
You know what? I think it might be because I sent some dump trucks to some people, and Nate didn't get one. Maybe he was jelly off of that. I don't know.
He was jealous that I got a dump truck and he didn't get a dump truck. So
Yeah, I
Uh,
would have sent him a dump truck if I would have known
I
it
think.
was upsetting him.
Wait a minute. I thought you stopped driving trucks.
No, I didn't stop driving. I bought two. I bought one dump truck February of last year, and now I have like four dump trucks. So I kind of got my own
yeah,
dump truck company now.
yeah. You just quit. Yeah, you just quit driving for the man. Yeah.
Oh, so you don't
Stopped
do over the
driving for the
road anymore?
man. No, I don't do any over the road anymore. No, I stopped doing that in 2023 actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I. Okay, so I got that a little bit wrong. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you and
I stopped driving over the road in 2023.
you and Slim both quit the over the road stuff.
Yeah, and then I went to work for a dump truck company because honestly, my background over my 40-year career has been mostly dump trucks. And so I went to work for a local dump truck company. I worked there about a year, and then I bought a dump truck, and then I bought a second dump truck and a third dump truck, and now a fourth one. So I have
So
my own dump truck company now.
Nate has apologized, or is attempting
He
to
has.
apologize.
Right.
I can't see the chat, so I don't know. Yeah, Saleen and Saleen, you and me we haven't caught up in a while, Saleen. It's been probably 3 years since we even spoke or whatever. And
Well, it ain't because I don't like you, sir.
well, I know that. I know it's just life. It's just life.
You know, life got in my way quite a bit.
It's nothing personal. It's just two different trails, but I thought, well, I'll jump on and try to explain, what happened with Scooter's Coffee is a great company. They have, probably 90 trucks, and they're all brand new, beautiful trucks. They deserve to be on the calendar. And I'm just a little guy. Yeah, Scooter's Coffee is actually based in Omaha. So,
wow.
And but look, I'm just trolling Nate. To be honest with you, I'm just trolling Nate. The truth is, I was proud to even be a part of that contest. And my friends, and especially my YouTube friends, all kicked in and voted so many times for us. And I owe a big debt of gratitude to my YouTube people, my friends on YouTube, both on the lawn care side and the football side. You guys all did a fantastic job of voting for us, and I really appreciate it. Other than that, I'm just trolling Nate. That's all. Nate didn't really lose me the contest, but I thought I'd have some fun with Nate about it.
The nice thing, though, is every year you need a new calendar, so you have a shot again next year.
Yeah, look. I'm going to enter that contest every year. They're not going to get rid of Millis Vanillis. I promise you that. I'll be in it every year.
Well, next time, hopefully, I will get wind of how to vote for it, and I'll put in some votes.
Well, I posted a short video back when they first started the contest, and I put up a link to do the voting and stuff like that. Apparently, you probably didn't see that video. And then I sent it around in the group chat, which I don't know if you're in. But, shout out to everybody who voted for me on the contest. I love all of y'all. Y'all did a fabulous job. We got way more votes than I thought we would get. We wound up with
Uh,
over 4,000 votes.
Bench
And
bar
we were
here.
the smallest player in that contest. In that contest, everybody in that contest, there were 92 companies entered that contest, and we were the smallest company, you know. And we made 4,000 votes. We did come in second, and you know, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. So
Millis, bench bar here asked if you were, you said, Millis, weren't you shunned by the community a while back?
yeah,
I don't
I
think
well,
that
I
was,
kind of shunned myself about 3 years ago. Yeah, but that's old news. That's
yeah,
over and gone.
that's many years back.
Yeah, yeah.
And
What?
That
that,
was
that whole
that
thing's
was
been well
3 years
over.
ago. What happened was I had a freaking heart attack during the Alabama Tennessee game. Fell out in the floor. I didn't have like a heart attack. I had a coronary, and I had to go to the hospital. And in my mind, I thought, well, this college football is going to kill me if I don't do something different. And instead of, you know, going out in a nice way, I just sort of started ignoring people and blocking people and shit like that. It wasn't the right thing to do. And that's what happened. But that was 3 years ago. I mean, I'm over it. And I hope everybody else is too. Of course they are, because everybody's just kind of slowly but surely welcoming me back into the college football community. And I'm happy with that. And, you know, I'm real sorry the way things happened.
Mm.
I can't change it, but it was 3 years ago. I mean,
That's
I went to
okay.
the
Yeah,
Slobs
yeah.
this year, had a great time. I went
Yeah,
down and visited Vic during the football season. I took my dump truck down there. We were going to give
yeah,
Vic Tube a ride in the dump truck,
yeah.
and
The
unfortunately, we couldn't get him up in it.
Yeah, it was too
And
tall. Yeah.
I've been just you know, I've been welcomed back into the college football YouTube community, and I'm happy because you know these you guys are my real friends. You know, and I got a lot of fake friends. And I went to the Slobs this year, had a fantastic weekend out there, and like that. So whatever happened 3 years ago is water under the bridge. I don't even know why
Yeah,
anybody's even bringing it up right now.
water under the bridge. And I'm really happy that you
Sure.
did. Yeah, I'm really happy that you
I mean, I
came
knew
back.
that it had happened, and I knew that amends were made, and all that was patched
Yeah,
up a long
I
time.
didn't do a Law Tide type thing. Now, Law Tide, you know, I didn't do what Law Tide is doing at all.
See, I heard that
But
Law Tide did something, but I don't know what he did because I have been paying attention to other things, so I don't know what he did.
I started seeing college football as a drug in my life, and the only way to get off of a drug is to separate yourself from that drug. And I had to, in my mind, I was trying to completely separate myself from all things college football, you know.
Right.
And I did that, but I did it, you know. My YouTube friends, I shouldn't have went out the way I did with my YouTube friends. I didn't understand how good of friends they were of mine at the time. You see, I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to explain it.
No,
And
Yeah.
anything can be a drug. Anything, food, sex, actual drugs. There's so many drugs that can be anything that takes over and controls your life is a drug. In college football, especially, you know, it had become a drug to me.
Yeah.
I was addicted to it.
Robert wants to know if you're doing a shit show tonight.
Yeah. There's no shit show today. Yeah, my mom and dad said that they would take me to the pool. So.
Oh, nice.
Which we haven't been able to do that because it's been raining so much. So. But
It finally stopped raining here. Gee whiz.
Yeah, it's
We need some rain down here.
sunny here right
we
now.
need it bad down here.
The sun finally.
We've had 6 or 7 inches of rain in the last 3 days here.
Yeah.
We could use a lot of that right now. Well, we're starting to get into our rainy season, so hopefully this drought we're in will wrap up the next month or so. It's bad down here. We're seeing reservoirs, get really close to being dry. Tampa is getting hit pretty hard, especially. Yeah, it's not good. But what did Law Tide do? I heard Law Tide did something, but I don't know what he did.
Law Tide just started talking shit about everybody, dude.
Yeah.
Law Tide just started running his mouth about everybody.
He was talking about Lou, Pete, BA,
Battle Angel, Scott Kerr. I mean, he didn't hold back on anybody.
Whoever would talk shit about Battle Angel, just that's just mean.
Yeah.
I know, right? Battle Angels.
I mean,
Battle Angel's one of the best people in the community.
Yeah, real talk. That BA has always been nice to me, even with my caustic personality.
You know what, Saleen? The stuff that he was saying just was retarded. It didn't even make any sense. It was just dumb shit, like wrestling heel stuff. It was just retarded. And I stopped paying attention to it. I refused to even click on one of those. And then Chess Halden jumped in and got his ass involved in it too.
The wrestling community.
Chess Hall ain't been around for 5 years, and now all of a sudden Chess Hall got something to say.
Yeah, there is no wrestling community.
The death of Hulk Hogan hit Law Tide. Well, I can say with confidence that I was so not on anyone's radar that Law Tide never said a word about me. I don't think I was worth Law Tide saying anything about me, but I mean, I can understand one trash talker going off on another. I've done it myself to my own detriment. It seems in some cases, but I mean, Battle Angel. I mean, there are some people. I wouldn't say that anyone in our loose knit community is sacrosanct, but there are a few people that it's like, really, that's such low hanging fruit you're going after. The Battle Angel, TK, Friction Vixen, people like that are just like they're here because of other people, and they're not really they're not what I mean. None of those people are what I would call serious or even semi-serious trash talkers themselves, at least as far as I've seen. I mean, come on now, that's Sandlot shit.
Well, he ain't made a constructive football video in years. He's trying to bring back the old TTC type stuff, and nobody gives a shit about that stuff anymore.
Yeah, we don't do the TTC anymore.
The TTC stuff,
it's like
the heart of the TTC, in my humble opinion, was BVD. And when BVD left us, the TTC, went away with him. That's just my opinion. I mean, what do I know? I came into this whole thing after the TTC was supposedly not really a thing anymore. I mean, I came into all you guys and got to know all you guys because of Lou's infamous Vanderbilt video. I mean, if that video had never crossed my YouTube feed, I would never have known about any of this. I mean, I swear to you, I laughed so hard when I started watching those videos. Some of those videos, I would laugh so hard I almost pissed myself. But I know that video came out well after the TTC heyday. At least is what I've been led to believe. So
the very first Uncle Lou that came across my YouTube was the 38-year-old coat video, and I watched that shit, and I was hooked. I started watching everything Lou had at that point.
I actually saw that video, and I said to myself, I saw him pick up that bottle, and I said, "There is no fucking way he's doing that, because that has to be the nastiest swamp water." I mean, that couldn't have really actually been Coca-Cola in there, could it?
Yeah, yeah. Look, we know Lou. Lou, there ain't nothing fake about Uncle Lou. Not a damn thing in that video was fake. I promise you that was a 38-year-old Coke. There's no
Oh,
way. Anybody else, I would say, well, maybe, but not Lou. Lou ain't faking a damn thing on his YouTube. Not nothing.
I knew he was doing it. I just couldn't
Well, I
believe he
mean, he
actually was
did.
going to do
I
it.
mean, he did his research first to make sure that it wasn't something that would land him in the hospital. So
Well, yeah. Have to. He said that was a real Coke. See, because I have a whole ton of those commemorative Coke bottles around here. I have a 6-pack of Coke bottles that commemorated the 1984 SEC championship by Florida, the one that we had illegally taken from us. And I actually have commemorative Coke bottles from the 1996, 1994 Atlanta Knights IHL championship. But I always wondered, is it really Coke in there, or is that just brown water? I did watch YouTube videos of other people drinking. That I swear to you though, Lou, honestly, that looked like I watched you drink that on the video. That looked painful. I mean, it really looked like you had to force that down. I mean, I knew he said he was going to do it if Georgia lost that game, but I really didn't think he'd go through with it.
So let me ask you guys a question. What do you think is worse, drinking a 38-year-old Coke or eating 27 boiled eggs? Which is worse?
yeah, eating 27 boiled eggs.
I would probably say that too, but I actually don't like eggs, so I don't eat eggs.
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah,
But
I don't really.
I would imagine eating 27 of anything is probably really bad.
What I'm getting at is I can feel Lou's pain when he drunk that Coke, because I have eaten 27 boiled eggs and it was no fun.
He said it was like it tasted like flat cardboard.
Ugh.
Every time I think of that, when you mention that, the first thing that flashed in my mind was that whole thing from Cool Hand Luke.
Oh yeah, that's kind of where I got that idea from Cool Hand Luke. That's kind of the beginning of that.
He ate 50 eggs, so
he ate 50, yeah. But I don't believe that could happen. I don't see where anybody besides Joey Chestnut could eat 50 eggs. I don't think anybody besides him could do it.
Yeah.
Because 27, I thought it was going to kill me.
That was a great movie, Cool Hand Luke. You couldn't make that movie today if you had $1 trillion and your own studio. You couldn't make that movie today. You
couldn't even make Lucy washing the car. That Lucy washing the car scene, you couldn't even do that in 2026.
And for me, the greatest comedy of all time, Blazing Saddles. You couldn't get that movie made.
No.
That was one of the funniest. It's still, to me, Blazing Saddles is still gut-bustingly funny. The wagon train scene, backed up by the campfire scene, two of the most classic segments in all of Hollywood in comedy, in my opinion. They're just absolute genius. Have some more beans, Mr. Taggart.
Did I tell you that I saw Blazing Saddles?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I think it was on like Prime Video. Yeah.
Was it unedited?
Yeah.
The funniest thing to me is the wagon train scene where the Indian chief rides up to the wagon with the black family and he looks at it and he just deadpans. Schwarz. Just one word. Schwarzes. I guess no sugar.
Yeah, so anyway,
Anyway,
I watched that. I watched that scene with my dad,
yeah,
who
yeah.
spoke fluent Yiddish, and I watched that man almost fall off his chair. He was laughing so hard. Great scene, but funny as hell. You couldn't make.
I got to jump off here, guys. I just wanted to come on and thank Nate for not getting me into the calendar. So,
I'm going to
it's
be.
good
I'm going
talking
to
to
be
you
shutting
guys.
down. I want to shut down in about 5 minutes anyway. But Millis, don't or long track the life guy. Do not be a stranger. You're welcome here anytime.
Okay, buddy. I appreciate it. It was good talking to you, man.
Good talking to you, man. Be safe.
See you, Vic.
All right, bye, Millis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good to see you.
so anyway, so me, me, Millis, and Nate did our part for the talent show. I mean, yeah, we sent in videos, so
Yeah, I don't send in videos. I
yeah,
have no
as
time.
far as I know, Nate, Millis, and I are the only ones who actually sent in a video. So
Wait a minute. Is the talent show now?
no, it's been postponed to Tuesday. It was originally supposed to be starting yesterday, but Lou moved it back a week.
Oh.
Which he said that he wasn't gonna be postponing it, but then he postponed it anyway. So
and isn't if my memory serves me correct, Lou said he's going to stop doing the morning show,
yeah,
but he's still doing it now.
right. Sometimes, yeah.
So he's just winding down, or
Yeah,
is it
he's just
just gone
winding
too early?
down. Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit since he's done a. Yeah, it's been like like the last couple of weeks he hasn't done any morning
Are
shows.
you going to take over? Or
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but just on Thursdays though. I'm not gonna do it every day, but
Oh, I understand. Well, Vic, I'm going to wrap up because I've obviously, my daily trip over to Mom's house for dinner.
yes,
And you said there's no shit show today because you're going to the pool.
yes.
Well, have a good swim, sir,
Okay, thank you.
and keep the head above water, please.
Okay.
And good to see all of you. Good talk. Good talk. I appreciate everyone letting me take many minutes at the beginning to say what I wanted to say about Kyle Busch. Again, I know that this is not a car racing community. Most of you don't really have an interest in motorsports, and that's understandable. But I do, and my favorite driver of all time passed away a week ago, and it still doesn't feel real to me. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate it. I don't know what I'm going to do about being a NASCAR fan going forward. I mean, no driver out there really, maybe Kyle Larson a little bit, but no driver out there really intrigues me. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But that's my problem, not yours. Anyway, I hope you all have a good rest of the day, good rest of the week, good weekend. I will be watching tonight Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Eastern Conference Finals between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Frog Pussies from Montreal, who I hope lose and do not get to the Stanley Cup Final and thus make the entire nation of Canada angry once again. Especially this year, because not only did they get snookered out of all the gold medals in all the Olympic versions of hockey. But if Montreal gets knocked out, then once again, no Canadian city is going to raise Lord Stanley's Cup. And that, as a Boston Bruin fan, makes me very, very happy. Enjoy your weekends. Be safe out there. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.